Hello everyone, I'm Jimson Lee for SpeedEndurance.com, and today I'm at the National Training Center in Claremont, Florida with Stephen Maguire. So Stephen, thank you for having me.
No
so a few quick questions. The first question is, how do you balance between speed and speed endurance over the year, and now that we're like 2-3 months away from London?
Yeah. I think the nature of our program is and the way that we work is speed is always part of the program. You know, right from we begin on the 1st of November, we're always doing something speed related. You know, I think some of the misconceptions that some people have is that to work in speed they think it has to be flat out top end all the time, and it doesn't. You know, we start doing specific drills, movements, we're looking for proper posture, everything from day one. It evolves then. You know, people would talk about long to short or short to long programs. I would say, you know, my philosophy, and I know from Lance's point of view, is that we would very much, people call it mid-range, so we're touching all the bases all the time. But talking about specific speed endurance, you know, to me it's 120s, 150s. And the nature, I think the nature of again where Jason is at in particular, and the other athletes that he's working with, is that they only know how to run quick. It's actually pretty hard at times to give them specifics at 90%, 95%. So I think that's where the art of coaching comes in. Sometimes, you know, we may have set out that they run 3 sets of 2 by 120 or 150 or something like that, and sometimes we need to adjust. But certainly now, a few months out from the games, is that we'll be starting to move into that type of work, but still keeping in touch, moving into the top end of things as well. So it's I think you're right in what you're saying is where's the balance. I think the balance is we're touching all the bases all year round, and sometimes the percentages of that, as we come closer to those goals, they fluctuate. So at the moment we'll be spending 1 day, 2 days in blocks, and we've just started running flying 30s, flying 40s, and we'll be starting to move into the 180, 150, 120 type work.
Good. Excellent. Let's get into Jason.
Yeah.
He's run 10:22. 10:18 is a standard,
yeah.
So he's 0.04 seconds away from going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
What are you doing special to get him ready, just to shave off 0.04?
Yeah, well, he's got his mechanics this year. We've done a lot of work on that front end mechanics. His recovery, his heel recovery is much better. And again, going back to your previous question, that's something that we worked on right from day one. When we were in Belfast before we came out here in November, we started Jason 2-3 weeks earlier, so he would be a step ahead of people in sort of his mechanics and running drills. And he's got stronger this year. We've been very lucky that he's recovered from the stress fracture that he's had, so we've been able to lift properly. His Olympic lifts are going well, his cleans going well, squats going well, so that end of it has improved a lot. He's put on a little bit of weight. You know, last year he competed 70-71 kilos, he's up now 73-74 kilos, which is good. He'll probably, you know, lose a kilo of that coming into the summer now, but certainly a lot of his, you know, a lot of the testing that we've done in his jumps and speed off the ground and things like that have been much better. You know, going back, talking about speed endurance, strength endurance, again on the track much better. His recovery between the sessions is good. So I think it's, you know, a lot of it, he's now 24, he's maturing. He's a late starter and a late developer in the sport. He didn't begin until he was 16-17, so and because of his visual impairment he didn't really have much of a background in sports. Because of that, before he came into track and field. So being a late developer, he's now catching up, and you know, his blocks, just with that additional strength, his block positions are better, he's clearing more ground, but the big thing is his heel recovery and his time on the ground now is much better than it was last year.
Yeah, he looked good this week actually. How about like measuring speed? What kind of tools do you use to measure speed when you're going like fly 30s or fly 60s and other mechanics? Like, what do you use for that?
Traditionally, I suppose it works. I'd be a great believer in the sort of the art of coaching, but it absolutely has to be backed up by the science. Mm-hmm. And you know, with the free lap system now that we're going to sort of implement into our program is going to be very positive. And as I was saying earlier, you know, and talking about the system, it again frees us up as coaches not to worry about the stopwatch or setting timing gates or things like that. The athlete can take that responsibility and have that data on them. And it's realistic data. We can measure it now, you know, and for all the best will in the world, and at times, you know, I'd be a great advocate of you know, looking at their technique and looking at their frequency and things like that, and also trying to hit it with a stopwatch. but you're never 100% accurate, so free lap's going to be a big part of it, and yeah, it's certainly in all our testing and the flying stuff, that's what we'll be using.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you, and good luck this season, and see you in London.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is that all right?